just now realized I didn't have the fucking desktop audio cut off for that. Jesus Christ, it's going to sound stupid now. Oh well, fuck it. Yeah, we got the second episode of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Let's get into it, shall we? And this I'm going to take and have myself in the bubble and this a little bit bigger. And yeah, because I'm going to try getting this show, if possible, onto YouTube. I got some editing to do for that, though. Try to use it as a way to showcase kind of some of the stuff that we got on the Patreon.
Arthur Dent has escaped from the Earth in the company of a friend of his. His name is Ford Prefect, currently hiding in the storeroom of a Vogon spaceship.
Okay, it's a Vogon guard come to throw us into space.
But it's an allergic bee that Morbiusly has blurted.
A little bit of a phallic look there to the microphone. That's not exactly the image that you kind of want. And I'm sure the symbolism was probably done a little bit on purpose.
Now, the jerking slave.
What the hell?
Vogon poetry is, of course, the third worst in the universe. The second worst is that of the Esgoths of Kriya. Ode to a small lump of green putty I found in my armpit one midsummer morning.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Internal hemorrhaging.
Died of internal hemorrhaging. What?
Reported to have been disappointed by the poem's reception.
The names of this stuff, number one. But number two, 12 volume epic art of going to... Oh my Jesus. Bro. Whoever the writer of this has a wicked sense of humor. Just going to throw that out there.
The very worst poetry of all, and its creator, Paula Nancy Millstone Jennings of Greek Vogon poetry, is mild by comparison.
So deadly poetry, okay.
Angrily up the axle groups, and group I implore thee, my footing turling groans. So, Earthlings.
Bro.
I'm not an Earthling.
Quiet. I present you with a either die in the vacuum of space, or tell me how good you thought my poem was.
Look what it's been. Wait, what? It's like the other cat, he'd rather die than have to take and possibly hear it again. Again, the sense of humor on this that is absolutely just, oh my God. Like the names that they come up with for the stuff, number one. But number two, the fact that the poetry has been deadly for the one. And Jesus, the names of stuff. Oh my God.
Interesting rhythmic
Counterpoint the serialism of the underlying metaphor of the...
one is left with a profound and vivid insight into whatever it was the poem was about.
Whatever it is the poem was about. Bro. Something tells me, maybe you want to be a little bit more, forthcoming with what you got out of it as far as what it was about. But something tells me the flattery angle. Flattery always helps, right?
Is that I just write poetry because I just want to be loved? Is that it?
I mean, yes.
No, you're completely wrong. I'm going to throw you off the ship anyway. God.
Don't worry, Arthur. I'll think of something.
Resistance is useless.
It's now just after 4 in the afternoon, and I'm already being thrown out of an alien spaceship 5 light years from a smoking remain. You wait until I've settled down and found my bearings, then I'll start panicking.
Do you enjoy this sort of thing?
What? What do you mean?
I mean, does it give you a full, satisfying life?
Full, satisfying life?
Yeah. The hours are good, are they?
Yeah, most of the actual minutes are pretty lousy.
But if the rest of it is so lousy, why do you do it?
Bro, his silver-tongued devil here.
My aunt said that spaceship guard was a good career of mindless tedium.
Ford, this guy's hard-throttling me.
But try and understand his problem. And he doesn't even know why he's doing it.
Oh.
Poignant, very poignant.
What's the alternative?
Well, stop doing it, of course.
Doesn't sound that great to me.
Oh, but that's just the start, isn't it? I mean, there's more to it than that, you see. There's no...
Resistance is useless!
Yeah, but, I mean, come on now, look!
Oh, stop it.
I think I better just stick to what I know. Thanks for taking an interest.
No, listen! Look, there's a whole world you know nothing about it. Now listen, how about this? How about this?
No.
No.
Potentially bright light, I thought. They're trapped.
Well, didn't you think of anything?
Yeah.
What?
Unfortunately, it involved on being the other side of this hatchway. Wait a minute. What's this switch?
What? Where?
I was only fooling. We're gonna die after all.
But I really wish I'd listened to what my mother told me when I was young.
Why? What did she tell you?
I don't know. I didn't listen.
Well, that should be the end of this. Like, that was too quick. How's there 4 more episodes?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a wholly remarkable book. Really big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. In the entry in which it talks about dying of asphyxiation 30 seconds after being thrown out of a spaceship, chances of being picked up by another craft are 2 to the power of 260,100. Flat, where Arthur once went to a very good party, where he ate some very good food and met a very nice girl, whom he totally failed to get off with.
Oh, that's not great.
29 seconds later, Arthur and Ford were in fact rescued.
What in the world?
Find a passing spaceship, get rescued by it.
Oh, come on. The chances against it were astronomical. But it looks like the seafront at Southend.
God, I'm relieved to hear you say that.
Why?
I thought I must be going mad.
What in the world?
You know, if this is Southend, there's something very odd about it.
And the buildings keep washing up and down.
Hallucinations, maybe?
But I definitely think we're on some kind of spaceship.
Then I can only assume we're not in the first-class compartment.
Not in the first class compartment.
My leg's drifting off into the sunset. My leg's drifting off into the sunset.
What in the world, dude?
My left arm's disappeared. You're turning into a penguin. Stop it.
Oh.
2 to the power of 75,000 to 1 against.
Where are you? What's going on? Is there anywhere stopping you?
Please relax.
I am now a perfectly safe penguin. My colleague here is rapidly running out of limbs.
Welcome to the Starship Particle. We are now cruising at a level of 2 to the power of 25,000 to 1 against.
This is fantastic. We've been picked up by a ship with a new infinite improbability drive. I mean, this is... What's happening?
The infinite improbability drive is a wonderful new method of crossing interstellar distances.
What? Say that 4 times fast. Jesus, that's a tongue twister and a half. Bro, some of the sci-fi elements of this are just fantastic. Like the improbability engine that travels using calculations of improbability instead of, like, you know, regular physics. What? So you don't have this big old engine attached to it that's, you know, fueled by, well, fuel, or some type of super futuristic propulsion system that just, yeah, that's, but which improbability engine sounds like it'd be pretty futuristic, but still just like the normal ways we see in most sci-fi type stuff. Like I love the stuff that's introduced into this, like poetry that kills. That's freaking hilarious. So many people dislike poetry that something like that would be something like that would probably, it's probably like that to them. Oh my God, I'm gonna die, please shut up, you know, that type of thing. Or, oh, I'm gonna be bored to death. And taking stuff like that and throwing that type of concept into something like poetry from a species and it killing, that's just, to me, that's hysterical. I love the inclusion of some of the stuff in this. Like, this is just, and I love the trippy effects they had going too, right? Turning him into the penguin, losing his arms, and then all of a sudden you got an improbable amount of monkeys on typewriters. Like, that's just, What was the guy on when he wrote this? That's my question.
And such generators were often used to break the ice at parties. Stand was the perpetual failure they encountered in trying to construct a machine, and in the end, they grumpily announced that such a machine was virtually impossible. A student who had been left to sweep up the lab after a particularly unsuccessful party, that he had managed to create the long-sought-after infinite improbability generator. He got lynched by a rampaging mob of respectable physicists.
What?
Thing they really couldn't stand was a smartass.
Yo. Bro. Oh my god, some of the shit in this is so hilarious.
3 to 1, 2, 1.
Who are they, Trillian?
Just a couple of guys we picked up in open space.
Well, that's a very sweet thought, Trillian. But do you really think it's wise right now? I mean, here we are on the run and
They were floating unprotected in open space. You didn't want them to die, did you?
so if you'd taken the trouble to think about it a moment longer, it would have gone away, right?
Anyway, I didn't pick them up. The ship did.
The ship picked them up all by itself. The ship picked it. Oh, forget it and go back to sleep, will you?
2 heads. Okay.
That's incredible!
No, just very, very improbable.
So logically, the improbability of them being picked up by a spaceship using an improbability engine. I love the logic being used to make sure that this makes sense, right? Because it's improbable they're going to be picked, that somebody would actually, like, massive odds against them being picked up. Improbability machine going through space, and from one point to another, their improbability of being picked up, I guess, makes sense now that they've got picked up by something with the improbability machine. Like, the whole logic behind that is just, yeah, it makes sense, 100%.
I'll send the robot down to check them out. Hey, Marvin!
I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed. I have an exceptionally large mind.
Go down to number 3 entry bay and bring the 2 aliens up here under surveillance.
I won't enjoy it.
She's not asking you to enjoy it, just...
I won't enjoy.
Great. Thank you.
I love how far we've come in television, modern television and movies and stuff like that, because this being an android, I guess, or a robot from back then, and now we've got movies that have that portray robots with humanistic features, covered with the material that makes it look like human skin, and with AI and stuff like that, that they can, bro. I'm not saying it's exactly an upgrade, but I'm just saying, like, it's crazy to see how far we've come, and the fact that we've actually got, they're actually working on robots similar to that. I'm trying to remember the name of the one movie that come out here in the last couple years, of the mom who took and got her daughter the basically supposed to be Fran/nanny type robot or whatever, and Megan. Oh my God! So we go from something like this to something like what was in that movie Megan, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's kind of now seeing something like this, seeing the differences in how things are and how close sci-fi is to reality in some ways too, because that of course took a lot of leaps, I would say leaps of logic, but also playing on the fears of AI and robotic takeover with evil intent and things of that nature. Anywho, so to see something like this where the humanoid feature of it is the concave head with the little thing there in the middle that kind of like the nose or whatever, but the flat mouth, and just, bro, it's astounding to me how far we've come, not only with our actual, not only I would say graphical stuff, but also just the way they model things. But it's fascinating.
I wouldn't like to think I was getting you down.
No, don't you worry about that. You just act as comes naturally.
It's all just part of life.
Life. Don't talk to me about life.
What the hell?
The Sirius Cybernetics Corporation defines a robot as your plastic pal who's fun to be with.
Plastic. Oh, okay. I'd rather be a pal with the lady there.
Edition of the Encyclopedia Galactica that fell through a time warp from 1,000 years in the future.
I also love how they do take and make sure for stuff like this, like more in the fact that they got thrown out into space. So you got what the Hitchhiker's Guide and like now the Encyclopedia Galactica or whatever, but what the different volumes of literature take and say about certain things. Like Hitchhiker's Guide, you get thrown out of a spaceship, you got approximately 30 seconds before you asphyxiate and, you know, because of the lack of oxygen. It gives you the improbability of being rescued by a passing ship because of the infinitesimal nature of the brain to take and process how just massive the actual space is, right? And it showed with the down for the galaxies and everything of that nature. So I love that aspect of it. And showing stuff like this, right? Showing stuff like this, where we just seen the robot and now Encyclopedia Galactica talking about robots of definition, but then this core over here, bro, this is absolutely, this is fantastic. This is taking and making sure that all the ducks are in the row. So I'm guessing the reader, and previous to seeing this, the listeners on the radio program, like everything's kind of laid out to where you're not kind of like, what, that doesn't make any. Of course, some of it's just sheer silliness, right? But I love the fact that they've taken that step.
I think this ship is brand new, Arthur.
Why? Have you got some exotic device for measuring the age of metal?
Listen. This is what I was after. As the ship's drive reaches infinite improbability through every point in the universe, this is really big league stuff.
Well, it's a whole lot better than that dingy Vogon crate. I wonder what'll happen if I press this button.
Don't.
Oh.
What happened?
A sign lit up saying, please do not press this button again.
They make a big thing of the ship's cybernetics.
GPP, what's that?
It says, genuine people personalities.
Ugh, sounds ghastly.
It all is. Absolutely ghastly.
Boy, he is so depressive.
It is their pleasure to open for you.
Glad to be of service.
Hateful, isn't it? Here I am, brain the size of a planet, and they tell me to take you up to the bridge.
Hey, excuse me, which government owns this ship?
You watch this door. It's about to open again.
Air of smugness from a door? What? Yo.
Excuse me, which government owns...
Let's build. Slowly tried it out with me. I'm a personality prototype.
Can't get a word in edgewise. Every time he goes to talk, it starts talking and cutting him off.
Which government owns...
No government. Been stolen.
Stolen?
Stolen? They fought people wrong. Pardon me for breathing, which I never do anyway.
Pardon me for breathing, which I never do. What?
Here's another one of those self-satisfied doors.
Really? They fought people progs.
I'm guessing he knows him. Okay.
We'll be saying a big hello to all intelligent life forms everywhere and to everyone else out there. The story tonight is the sensational theft of the new improbability prototype ship by none other than Beeblebrox, the man who invented the pan-galactic gargle blaster, ex-confidence trickster, recently voted the worst dressed sentient being in the universe for the 7th time running. Has he got an answer this time? Beeblebrox stole the improbability drive ship when he was, in fact, meant to be launching it.
If there's anything more important than my ego around here, I want it caught and shot now.
Anything bigger than my ego, I want to call. Bro. Number one, that news thing right there, right? It just the look of the guy giving the news, but the fact that he's taking and just tossing every piece of, must have like three words on every paper to be tossing it like that. That's just some of it. Oh my God, that some of the stuff that's in this is absolutely. It tickles the funny bone so much.
Look, would you mind looking at the galactic charts?
How did we come to be there? We should have zapped right into the middle of the Horsehead Nebula. I want to work this out. Hey, computer.
Hi there. Whatever your problem, I'm here to help you solve it. Did you know that most people's lives are governed by telephone numbers?
Telephone numbers?
And then, of course, I've got this terrible pain in all the diodes down my left side.
Safe on people blocks.
Don't believe it. This is just too amazing, Trillian. I am going to be so amazingly cool, it would fluster a vegan snowless. Right. Now, which is the most nonchalant chair to be discovered in?
Nonchalant chair.
I suppose you'll want to see the aliens now.
Ford, hi. How are you? Glad you could drop in.
Oh, hi, Zephyr. Great to see you. This is a great ship you've stolen. Ford, you mean you know this person? I'd like you to meet a great friend of mine, Arthur Dent. I saved him when his planet blew up.
Sure. Hi, Arthur.
What do you mean, Matt? This is Zaphod Beeblebrox from Beetlejuice 5, you know, not Blood.
Or should I say, Phil?
What?
At a party 6 months ago, on Earth, England, London, Islington.
Yeah, that party. I may have just dropped in, you know, on my way somewhere.
At this party was a girl I was after.
You got picked up from the bowels of space, and you're worried about that you didn't get at a party 6 months ago. Yeah, humans are doomed as a species. I swear to God, because that's the most human response I think I've ever seen for anything in a sci-fi movie. That's so. Oh my God.
Why don't you come and talk to me? I'm from a different planet.
Zaphod?
Well, but...
But you must admit he did turn out to be from a different planet.
Good heavens, what are you doing here?
Same as you. I hitched a lift. After all, with a degree in math.
Ford, this is Trillian. Hi. Trillian, this is my semi-cousin Ford, who shares 3 of the same mothers with me. Hi. Zaphod Beeblebrox, this is a very large drink. Hi.
I love this. This show, 2 episodes in, this is fan-freaking-tastic. All right, just the fact that number one, from the last episode, they got caught on the spaceship that they took and beamed up to, or teleported over to, right? They get caught on that. We see them in the thing, and they're being read poetry, which looks like it's painful. And then we get told that it's the worst poetry in the galaxy, only ahead of, or only behind, another race or another species whose poetry kills, basically. They get thrown out. And this is where I love sci-fi, is the fact that you got stuff like an improbability engine, which uses improbable calculations to move from one star to the next, or one location to the next, by passing through every location at one time to get to the next point in a matter of mere seconds, because of the improbability calculations that are done, to which it's that. But it makes sense that it would work like that. Somehow, at least to me, that makes sense, because it's improbable that you can go from this point to this point in 1 second flat. So using the calculations on, so anyways, but the journey there, they picked up, journey to wherever, they picked up these two, and of course, he's met Zaphod before at a party, and he gives the most human response I've ever seen. Like, bro, this show is absolutely hysterical in some of the spots. Like the robot who is a depressed robot. What? A depressed robot? And this is years before we have stuff like we have now with AI and machine learning and realistic, them working on realistic robots. And literally at CES 2020, at the start of the pandemic, actually I think it was CES 2018, they introduced, and it was mostly in Asian markets, really big over in Japan, basically the AI girlfriend, AI companion, but in the realm of, it's like a little box right here, and it's got a picture of a hologram or whatever that kind of moves, or picture that kind of moves around, and but of an anime waifu, basically, right? So we've got stuff like this, but that's the fact that they thought about something like this, and actually the personality and the personification and everything like that. This is stuff that's been sci-fi type stuff that for the last 40, 50, 60 years. 30, what, let's see, 81, so yeah, over 40 years now. But even before, even predating this, there's literature and there's stuff on, yeah, but the fact that we're now seeing like some of this sci-fi stuff actually come to fruition is just crazy. But I love the fact that they give it a personality that's depressive. That's too funny. That's too funny. So they're picked up by somebody who actually stole a prototype spaceship using that improbability. And oh yeah, I absolutely love this. Absolutely love it. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.